Tom Watson reporting for Tour Diary Part 1 for the Mike Watt and the Missingmen hyphenated-man Tour 2011. First week. First show is in Santa Barbara. It's on Thursday, March 10th. And I guess I have to say that at the beginning of a tour there's always a certain amount of anxiety because of trying to get out of town and all the loose ends that have to be tied. It's always a bit hectic. And I think a lot of that tension is also reflected in the playing for me. So I don't think I play so good. But Santa Barbara goes okay. It's not so far from LA, so we can get there and it's not a big effort. Peak is in the van with us, so there are 4 people. Raul, Mike, and Peak and I. And we get to the club and things go pretty good, and we finally get the t-shirts delivered there. And there is an opening group that I don't remember the name, sorry. But we do our gig, and we stay with a friend, and get up and head back to LA really early. Actually, the friend's name is Jeff, and his wife, who got up at like 3 in the morning to make us crepes, which was awfully nice. The next gig is in LA, and we head back early at 6. I think we get out of there about 7 o'clock in the morning. Get back at 9:30 or something, and I go by Caroline's and relax for a little bit. And then we play in LA that night at the Echo, and that goes pretty good too. Have a lot of family there that night, so I have to kind of budget my anxiety again. That's the next day we get up, and actually the tour sort of shoves off, because that's really leaving home, the beginning of the separation from our comfort zone, or at least my comfort zone. So San Diego, the Casbah, it's always an experience there. Planes landing very close to the roof, and very loud music. San Diego, we stay with Chuck and his wife, Kate, and I sleep in the motorhome with Raul, like I usually do down there, or in San Diego, and kind of comfortable situation, so it's a good way to set off our tour. The drive to Tucson is pretty long, so we have to get out of there kind of early and head through the desert. Tucson, playing at the Plush. It's a good place. We played there a few times. At least Raul and I played there recently with Lou Barlow, and it's kind of a nice place. It's on a street that has a lot of shops and restaurants, so it's not hard to find some distraction from any kind of waiting around. We play well, but I think we both blow out our voices because the monitors weren't very loud, and maybe you would read that in Mike or Raul's diary also. So anyway, speaking with the promoter there, Alyssa, was one thing, which is conversation, talking about South by Southwest and the fact that she was going there for the first time, and I was telling her what a crazy thing that was. And she said she was going with a couple of friends, and as it turns out, one of those friends was a guy who's named Dan, I believe. Might be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Dan, or whatever your name. I think it begins with a D. It turns out that it's this guy that helped promote a show that I did a little over a year ago with Steve Shelley at a place called Shay's, little bar in town, when he was there playing with Sonic Youth, and we did a gig the night before with a couple of the guys from their crew, Aaron Mullen, well, 3 guys actually, Matt Zivich, and I'm sorry, I don't have this written down, I'm improvising, Jeremy Lemos, and it was pretty fun, had a great time, but seeing him again was really nice, and he's a super cool guy. Anyway, so Tucson, from there we go to Albuquerque, and that's also a long drive, but it's a very pretty one. We pick up Bob in Albuquerque, and so there's going to be 5 people in the van from now on, which is intense, but we will make our adjustments to work that out. Anyhow, Albuquerque Launchpad. I tend to feel like that's a point where it really sets in that we're on the tour, and you feel certain distance from home, and thinking about all the variables involved in that. So it's a bit, I don't know, interesting, but kind of heavy. The gig was good. There were difficulties on my end. I think we all kind of felt a little detached and not really firing. We're just kind of getting into a groove or trying to find the groove. So it was a lot of work, but it was good. We got Bob on board to do merchandise that night, so we were kind of sorting a lot of things out, little technical issues. We drive back to Bob's place, which is about a half hour north, and stay there for the night, which is nice because it's home and very comfortable, and have some crazy dreams there, as I recall, which I probably won't go into, but from there we also have a long drive to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is a town I've played a few times. Oh, actually, only a couple of times with Mike, and once with Lou. And we played the Conservatory. A nice place, nice people. Actually, it was a good show. That was really where it started kicking in. We stayed with some great people, an amazing house. Mike and darn it, Mike and Ellie, something like that. We beautiful modern 50s, 60s. I'm sorry, 60s house. It was just like an incredible, like sleeping in a little museum. I'm kind of like gushing all over the place, drooling, not literally, but mentally, all over the place. Nice town. I like it there. After Oklahoma City, we drive south to Dallas, which Dallas is not easy to describe, but we're a little bit on the outskirts of downtown, and it's a semi-industrial complex that has this club called The Loft, and we are joining up with our Japanese friends, Light, who we are going to continue on for 9 more shows, so 10 shows total. And so it's great to see them and talk to them about everything going on. Of course, all the crap going on in Japan. But the show goes good. We play with another guy named Eli, well, a band, Eli Paperboy Reed. Eli Paperboy Reed and his band. Nice guys, but they're headlining, so we bailed out early to get to Jeremy's place and stay with him like we usually do. He and his wife Melissa, little boy, and I think I'd slept in the van that night just because there was a lot of hardwood floor and I didn't carve out a corner early enough, so I ended up in the van, which is fine. Actually, I slept pretty good. The next morning we get up and we go and I had to get some guitar strings, so it's kind of an early morning roll, and at this point I'm going to say end of part